Hello and welcome to our LCi Podcast here at LifeChurch. Thank you so much for the support we've been getting so far. But here today we're with our very own, in one place, in one accord, Isabella Martinez. How are you today?
Hi, I'm doing really good. It's good to be back home. I definitely missed it. My time's wrapping up here, but I'm happy I'm able to be here.
I know you only have like a week left or something, right?
Yeah, I think I leave. I think it's on Thursday, the 6th. So
Okay.
I leave next week, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, it's coming.
It's coming.
You're going to be leaving us. You actually are enrolled, I guess, is what the word is, to Urshan College. Mm-hmm. And, it's one of the Bible colleges for the UPCI is affiliated with. Mm-hmm. There's multiple, Texas Bible College, IBC, all those different ones. You selected Urshan. I did. And they've selected you, I guess, because they approved. And Pastor approved because he signed off. And but we haven't seen you for a while because of that. Yeah. And so today I just wanted to just dive into kind of your experience, because there are some maybe in our church here at LifeChurch, or people watching online that are curious about the college experience, especially when it comes to Bible college. I did take Bible college-ish for Arizona ministry. But I did an experience weekend at CLC, so I kind of I see the benefit to it. So we're just going to dive deep into it. But a little bit about yourself. How about you just throw that out there for those who don't know Isabella Martinez?
So yes, my name is Isabella Martinez. I'm 20 years old. I grew up in Arizona, and I've been coming to LifeChurch for I think like the past 9 years. It's a long time. Yeah, a long time.
If not more.
And I've grown a lot here, and I'm a first gen, so a lot of this stuff in the UPCI world is very new to me. And I attended ASU for a year before going to Bible college, but then right around the end of my first year there, I felt a call to more, and I felt that I needed to be doing more than what I was already doing with my life. Mm-hmm. So that's when Bible college came into place, and I toured various colleges, online because of COVID and everything. Right. So I looked into a lot of colleges, and then I was able to go to Urshan's preview weekend, and that's when I knew where I needed to be was Urshan. So I applied, and now I'm there, and I absolutely love it.
That's awesome. Yeah, we're excited that you're having such a good time. I personally, my wife and I have gotten a little bit of insight on your growth here at LifeChurch. We, for a very fraction of an amount of time, we were your youth pastor. Yeah. And I just seen how much you've grown, and your walk with God, and how close you've become to him. And it's been a testament not only to, what God can do, but at the same time, a testament how much you can impact other people. And we've seen that here at LifeChurch and some of the other students. And so we're very blessed to have you here at LifeChurch. But yeah, so here you are at Urshan, all grown up, going to Bible college, experiencing it. What has been your overall experience so far with Bible college?
I would say it's difficult yet life-changing, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. It's a lot of fun. You meet a whole bunch of new people from all around the world. I know people from Canada, and I know people from Utah, and my roommate's from North Carolina, and so you meet people from all around the world, and you make these close bonds and friendships that are just amazing, and they're going to be in your life for so long. You may not see each other every day once you graduate, but you're going to you'll run into them in the next general conference or the next youth congress, or you'll watch them preach. So it's super cool knowing that you'll be able to say one day oh, I went to Bible college with them. So it's super cool. But one thing that I have had to learn while at Bible college is, time management, because, you have to balance your social life with your education, and then some of us work. I have a job, so you have to balance all three of those, and, it's kind of like, juggling three balls all at once, and it's hard because you want to have a social life, but you also know you have to get an education, then you also have to work, and I always joke, you're sometimes you're crying because the chapel service was so good, and or church was so good, or sometimes you're crying because your assignments are super crazy. So it's definitely crazy, but I love it, and I wouldn't change it for the world, because I've grown so much there, and it's been life-changing.
That's exciting. So you would say probably one of the greatest obstacles is time management.
Yeah, that's been one of my greatest obstacles. and it's difficult to have to learn to manage that. I think my first few weeks there, I had to really get that. And some of them, my friends, they're upperclassmen, and they kind of were like, Bella, like, you got to learn your priorities here.
Right.
And so that was something that I learned really fast. But I think another one of my greatest obstacles is, like, it has to do with time. It's finding alone time with God. Okay. And it's some people are like, wait, you go to Bible college, you're with God all the time. And yes, it's true, you're with God all the time anywhere, not just at Bible college. Right. But one of my greatest obstacles, I guess, has been, like, finding time to be alone with God, not because it's an assignment, not because my teacher says, okay, you have to read this verse to this verse, or you have to read this book about, this book of the Bible, but because I want to study it myself, and it's been something that has been weighing heavy on my heart recently, and it's sometimes, like, you just get so caught up in the routine of things, like, you get up, you get dressed, you go to class, you go to work, go to lunch, go to dinner, you come back, you're tired, you do more homework, shower, go to bed, and it's a routine that you just get caught up in, and sometimes you find yourself at the end of the day, and you're like, oh, I didn't read my Bible today, or oh, right. I didn't pray, and I found myself in a lot of those situations.
Right. There's a benefit to being close to God through your studies. I feel like you open your eyes to a lot more than what you probably are seeing. Yeah. And you watch the podcast on time management as a Christian by Jeremiah Veal, plug. So that probably helped you too. But yeah, it's time management is a big deal, and I just feel like it affects us if we're not managing it the right way. Yeah. So that's awesome. So you're in this environment, and you kind of touched on it, and you're surrounded by like-minded people, students who are there in Bible college to grow not only their relationship but their ministries and their ability to serve God. What is probably one of the greatest effects that the environment has at Bible college on you in your walk with God? So
if I'm being 100% honest, the environment there is absolutely amazing, and it's kind of cool because there's some days, like, we're also close, and there's some days where, like, you can feel around the campus that, like, the mood's kind of down, or, like, sometimes, like, the mood's really great, and it's awesome because we're also connected there. But personally for me, the environment has only strengthened my relationship with God. There's people there who are pursuing God with everything they have. There's people growing in their ministry, and you look at the people that have been there, longer than you have, and you hear their testimonies, and you see, where they're going with their ministry. And for me, it helps me want to be better and be like them almost. And I have so many role models there already. Like, from day one, I was like, I want to be like her. I want to do that. Yeah, I want to be that. And it has only made me want to grow in my ministry and grow in my relationship with God. So being there in that environment has only made my relationship with God and my wanting to grow more in my ministry be stronger, and my faith has grown so much more hearing all these testimonies and being like, oh, you were just like me. I can be like that someday. So it's super encouraging and cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's just to uplift one another.
Exactly.
Have each other's back, I guess is the term.
Exactly.
So that's awesome. So I've had experience with studies, and we all continue to study. If you're any Christian that's been around, we know that the closer we know God is affiliated with how much we dive in to learn more about him. And so with your studies, I mean, I went through Excel, I went through Arizona School of Ministry, I understand hermeneutics, I understand Doctrine 101, I understand all of that jazz. And although it is homework, and although there are exams, and although there are tests, what is one of the benefits that you have found in your studies that help you draw closer to God?
So all my classes that I've taken this semester have all been, I don't want to say like God classes, but like they're all
spiritual classes.
Like I got all my gen eds out the way, so I have like all like ministry based classes, and honestly, your studies just help you grow more in your relationship with God. I think. You get assigned like research papers, and a lot of us hate that, and sometimes they're not my favorite, but when I look back on it, I kind of like them because you have to find the information for yourself, right? And I had to do this paper on Christology, and I had to go find verses that had to do that, and I had to go find books on that all by myself, and I had to do it all 100% by myself. All I was given was I think like 3 scriptures to be based off of, and I had to go find everything else on myself. And so I spent hours, I think I spent a whole day in the library,
right? And
I had to just dig and dig and dig all by myself, and I love that because they're not just giving you the information, being like, okay, here's information, now go write about it. No, it's, here, I'm going to give you this little nugget, I'm going to give you this little piece of truth, now you go look and find your own resources. And so I love that. And my studies, you're always learning more, and in each class it's always something, you're learning something different, but it's all connected at the same time,
Sure.
So you just get closer to God in that, because like I said, you have to find it by yourself. They are not just going to give you the answers to everything.
That's good. Mm-hmm. And the truth behind that is there isn't always going to be a teacher around in your daily walk with God.
Yeah.
From Bible college moving forward.
Yeah.
They're gonna have points where it's you and the Bible,
exactly,
you and God, and you gotta search it for yourself. Yeah. And I feel like you're getting the tools in Bible college to help you succeed in that. Yeah. And so I'm excited for you that you got that ability, and that you're learning that ability. I don't think we always 100% know how to gain every answer, but luckily by a walk with God and a relationship with God, He tends to direct us in the right way.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. So what are some eye-opening revelations that you have found so far in your studies about God?
Honestly, this sounds really cheesy, but all of it.
Sure.
I went into Bible college knowing absolutely nothing, literally nothing, and I think that's one of the reasons I wanted to go to Bible college.
Sure,
was because I knew nothing, and I wanted to know what I believe in, why I believe in, and so every time I was in a class and I heard something and I was like, oh, and everybody else would be like, oh, I already knew that, and I'm like, I didn't know that. Like, well, that's so cool.
Yeah.
And I had to take my first semester there. I had to take Old Testament literature, and it was my 9 a.m. class. It was my earliest class, and half the time I was like always so tired for the class. I know 9 a.m. is so early, but it's early when you go to bed at 2 in the morning.
It's early for a Bible college.
Yeah, exactly. So half of us were always just like, dead asleep.
Sure.
But I remember just always going into the class and coming out of it so mind-blowing. It was taught by Brother Jeremy Painter, and he's an awesome, awesome man of God. And he has so much knowledge, and he's so wise, and every time he speaks, you're just like, what? Like, your mouth is just always, like, wide open. And I remember just always leaving his class, like, talking with a friend about it. And one time I was sitting in class with one of my friends, and he turned over and looked at me, and he was like, I'm going to purposely fail this class so I can retake it again. And he's obviously joking. He didn't fail the class.
Right.
Like, at least I think he didn't. But it just shows, like, how awesome that class was. And for me, I learned a lot out of that class, because you dig into, the Old Testament, and he's like, well, this story wasn't actually about this story, and this story wasn't actually about this, or, did you ever think about it this way? And if you look back, and he just, like, teaches, like, the Greek meanings of things in Hebrew, and it's just, like, I remember I just felt like a kid. I was just like, what? This is so cool.
Yeah. No, I think that's awesome, because I think that's one of the benefits about Bible college is the sense that you're going in on the same level as everyone else, even though they might know more. You learn the same. And the same amount, the same speed, and the same, so there's those around that can help you grow. I don't think, you're first generation. I'm third generation. I was raised in church. Honestly, when I started Arizona School of Ministry and Excel, there was a lot I thought I knew. I realized I don't.
Yeah.
I had never heard the term hermeneutics. I had no idea what that was.
I had to Google it.
Okay, yeah, that's what Google's for. But there were so many things that, like, were so eye-opening. I'm like, here I am. I was a little child raised on the pews, and I don't know a thing. I felt like, so I think it's so beneficial in Bible college to be able to get the opportunity to just grow your knowledge.
Yeah.
Your overall knowledge and your studies, and the Bible is packed full of wisdom.
Oh,
and
yeah.
The whole book is wisdom.
Yeah.
And so just learning so much that, and I mean, there are times that you read something and you were taught something, and then I'm sure in studies you look at it yourself and you're like, wow, that's eye-opening to look at it that way.
Yeah. Touching on that, like, I had to do a study. I had to do a 6-page research paper on the book in the Bible, and I chose Jonah. And I learned so much about the book of Jonah that I didn't know. Like, I just totally looked over it. And it's just it's so weird because, you hear about the book of Jonah, growing up, it's like, man disobeyed God. He ended up in a fish's, belly, and he got thrown up. And, you just hear that it's a little story time for Sunday school. Yeah. And I remember just being in the library one day, and I was looking at a commentary on the book of Jonah, and I was so blown away. I was like, no way. I was like, it doesn't say that. And I remember going in my Bible, and I was like, it does say that. And I was just so shocked and blown away. And I definitely have learned a lot. And then with in another class, I had to do a Bible study, and I chose the book of Jonah again, and I found even more. And so, you think you know so much until you actually do the work and study it for yourself, not because somebody taught it to you, but because you found it for yourself. But I think one of the most intimidating things my first week was being like, I know nothing here, and everybody here knows everything, and I felt so intimidated. Mm-hmm. But I think the beauty, or what's so cool about Bible college, is that you learn so much, and you learn with the people, and you learn from other people. Like, just last night I texted some of my friends from school, and I was like, hey, do you remember this lesson from class? Could you explain it to me, because I don't really understand it. And some of them sent me audio messages, and some of them sent me paragraphs explaining it, and you learn from each other, and it's such a beautiful environment to learn and grow, and it's exactly where I needed to be in order to get what I wanted, which was to learn more. Sure.
Yeah, and I know you have a lot more time left in Bible college.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And I know that you have a lot more growing to do, but just in the short time that you've been at Urshan, what if you could pick out one specific thing maybe that has benefited you greatly by making the decision to go to Bible college?
That's a tough question.
Right.
I think one of the greatest benefits is just growing in your relationship with God. I look back at January 2021 Bella, and I look at the Bella here today.
Right.
And to you guys, she may look or be the same, but I know myself, and they are completely two different people. I look back and I'm like, Bella, what were you doing, honey? And I've grown so much in this first semester. I've only been there a semester. What is that, 6 months? August to August to December? I don't know. I can't do math in my head that fast.
You've only been there one semester?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Six-ish months.
Yeah.
Maybe less. Probably less.
But I've already grown so much, and I feel so much stronger in my relationship with God than I ever have before in my life. And again, that's because of the environment there. That's because of the relationships I have formed there.
Sure.
All the connections, everywhere I've gotten involved. All the learning that I've done, everything, every trial that I've went through while I've been there has only caused me to grow, and all of that mixed up into one has only attributed to me growing and being shaped into who I am here today. And it might not be like a big change, and I know I have 3 more years there, but I have grown a lot. I can't wait to see what I turn out to, the finished product after Bible college.
We've noticed, we've known, not just in the short amount of time. I mean, you're still the charismatic Bella we all love. But at the same time, we've seen there's just a sense of knowledge and wisdom that comes, I think, from anyone who goes to Bible college and really experiences what you experience there. Yeah. There is a benefit to Bible college.
Yeah, you definitely grow a passion for God and His Word, and it's like you're on fire, and you're just like, I want to share this with everybody, and I want to, you go to Bible college, and you should come too, and it's like you want everybody to go to Bible college with you, but it's not for everybody, but it's just super, it's life-changing.
That's awesome. Yeah, and Urshan is a great college to do that.
It's amazing,
yeah. So, coming more towards the end here, have you been challenged to so far in your studies, or maybe even before when you felt it, have you been challenged to be placed towards a direction in your ministry so far? I know you're young, you got a lot of life ahead of you and a lot of things that are going to change, and life's going to hit you hard when you walk out those doors from Urshan, trust me. But I mean, have you had anything specific that you felt like was just, you're very charismatic and you're very outgoing and very kind and you're everything that partially, I wish I had, because I'm more introverted, you're more extroverted. But you know, I've seen you grow, and I've seen your direction. And, you know, when we first had you, I mean, we had you guys as almost toddlers. I felt like junior high.
Yeah, that was so long ago. That's crazy.
Jonathan's over there laughing. He's like, yeah, we were little kids. I saw some pictures.
Yeah,
you know,
let's not bring us back
maybe I'll put it up on screen. No, I'm just
Let's
kidding.
not.
And you know, just to see you grow and to look at it, be like, you know, at that age, I don't think I would specifically point anyone out and say, oh yeah, they're gonna have some huge impact in a specific ministry. But I think as you grow in your relationship with God, and you start feeling a call, and you start feeling a direction, God has a way of just opening your eyes to it. I don't think anyone, there might be someone that has the donkey experience and get knocked off and blinded and all this jazz. But I mean, for me, I understand, like, going through ministry, God has spoken to my wife and I kind of pulled us in different directions. But has God ever done that so far to you? If not, I mean, that's totally cool. I mean, you have a huge future ahead of you. So, but is there anything specific?
So before I left to Urshan, I had this really strong passion for youth ministry. And I think that was because while I was here, I was being used as a mentor for the younger girls here. And I still do have that passion, I think. You know, I've gone through many things while, you know, in high school and junior high that I think is why I'm so passionate about youth ministry. But I've also grown a passion for women's ministry and Spanish ministry, which I never thought
awesome, yeah.
my Spanish would be used at all in my ministry. It's never even crossed my mind, literally, until I got to Bible
we use
college.
We use it all the time. We call you and
exactly.
have you translate for us.
But being over there, you know, I have grown that passion, and now I know that, you know, my Spanish will be used, but, you know, God hasn't been like, Bella, this is what you're called to,
yeah,
you know.
No.
And, there has been people there who have that, you know, and they're super sure of their calling, and they're super sure what they're supposed to be doing. And, you know, all I know is that I feel a call to the pulpit ministry. You know, I don't really know what that entails, and I kind of fought with God about it my first semester. I was like, no, God, no, because I saw all these, you know, people, you know, they were doing you know, keynotes during our chapel services, and I'm like, I will never be that. They were so good at that. No. And so I kind of like was like, no, God, that's not me. And I kind of threw it in the dumpster.
Sure.
And then, you know, weeks later, God was like, no, Bella, this is what you're supposed to be doing. And so I've kind of accepted it. You know, I'm not really sure 100% my direction with that. But what's so cool about Bible college is you get to be exposed to so many different areas of ministry, and you get to see people, you know, work in their ministries and work in their areas, and, you know, you get to see some people who are called to the missions field, and you get to see, you know, kind of their direction, and, you know, some people who are called to preaching, you get to see kind of that. And the classes there, they expose you to so much. You know, we have intro to preaching classes, you know, and so we have so many resources there that help you find and see what you like and what you feel that God wants you to do. You know, I got the opportunity to interpret for one of my friends. His dad has a church in Kansas, and so I got to translate for him from English to Spanish, and that was a super neat opportunity. I was so nervous. I was sweating so bad, and I definitely, you know, it wasn't the best, but I was super blessed to be given that opportunity and, you know, be able to do that. You know, and I don't know if interpreting is in my future, but, you know, it was, I got to try it out, you know, and I got to see if it was something I liked. And, you know, if next time somebody asks me to interpret, you know, I'll just go at it again. And, you know, you just say yes to every opportunity you get, because that's how you figure out what you feel called to, or what you like, you know, what you don't like.
Yeah. No, the gospel is called, I mean, it's for every language, every nation, every, you know, race. It's for everyone. And so I think there's such a benefit in that, especially here in Arizona. A lot of people speak, you know, Spanish.
No one speaks Spanish in Missouri.
No.
I think I have not met, like, I don't think I've met a Spanish speaker yet. I mean, there's some at my school. Yeah. But, like, people that live around, there's not many Spanish speakers, which maybe I'm there for that, you know, to grow a Spanish community. I don't know, you know. God's kind of funny. He kind of just, like, he told me to go to Bible. Well,
there's a lot of opportunity here in Arizona if you want to stay in Arizona. So, all right. Well, I think we're going to start wrapping it up here. Before we leave, is there one specific thing that maybe that you can challenge the listener. Now, there are a lot of different demographics that watch and listen to this podcast. And so, I mean, variation in ages, variation in social status, and all these different things. But I think for Bible college specifically, for your age and everything like that, is there something that you want to just specifically challenge or give wisdom to? Just a little insert before we end this today.
I think I really thought about this last night, because I wrote this part last night because I really wanted to, dwell on it, because I knew, so many different people were going to listen to this. And so I didn't take that lightly, but I kind of took this from my experience. But I think I would like to challenge whoever's listening, whoever's, watching this. If you feel a call to more, answer the call. And I think many times we get so caught up in our comfort zones, in our daily lives, because, we choose comfort over the unknown. And I know that way too well, because the unknown is so scary, and, when I answered the call, it was, okay, Bella, you're moving to Missouri, far away from family, into the cold where no one is. I was like, okay, and it was super scary and unknown. But I think one thing that I can reassure everybody is God is in the midst of the unknown, and, when you answer the call, it's life-changing. And if I never answered the call, I wouldn't be where I am today. I wouldn't know the things I know, and I wouldn't be so strong in my relationship with God. So if I can challenge anybody, answer the call, and it will be life-changing.
That's awesome.
You just have to trust God that, He'll lead you in the right places, and He won't leave you or forsake you.
That's true. Answer the call. Bye, Bella. Next sermon.
Yes. I'm gonna, answer the call. What's it called? I'm going to, not copyright it. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, copyright it?
Yeah. That's
I think too many people use it. Oh. It's too common. But thank you so much, Bella, for joining us on the LCi Podcast. And, we hate to see you leaving here in a week, but we know that God's doing great things for you and through you at Urshan College. And we're excited to see you next time.
Yeah, I'm super sad I'm leaving, but I'm really grateful and blessed that I got this opportunity. And thanks for having me on here. Yeah. I hope somebody gained something from my knowledge that was shared here today.
Many gains of many knowledge here at LifeChurch. So thank you so much, Bella. We want to say thank you so much for joining our LCi podcast today. We hope that something today in the conversation ministered to your heart. And if it did and you enjoyed it, be sure to share with your friends. Also, if you're watching on our YouTube channel, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. That way you're notified every time a new episode is uploaded. Also, if you're listening to this, be sure to give us a follow. That way you're notified as well. Again, thank you so much for joining us. We're looking forward to the next episode, and God bless.